Hello everyone, I'm back, and today I'm here to maximize your fear. So far, 2023 has been a year filled with strange things caught on trail cameras. From weird unidentified creatures to killers and to many other unexplainable phenomena. So today I decided to highlight some of the most chilling and downright horrifying creatures caught on trail cameras this year. So grab your popcorn and allow your fear to be maximized as we recap the scariest trail camera clips of 2023. The photo that I'm about to show was captured in 2020, however it was just released to the public only a week ago. This is because the family who captured this trail cam photo forgot about it, and the other day they found it again on their computer and decided to submit it to the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Group for further research. The Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Group are investigative journalists and Bigfoot enthusiasts that document their findings on their YouTube channel. They received the photo submission from the family and they decided to make a video about it. I am now going to read the submission and show the footage of the area that the family sent. Then I will show you the photo they captured on their trail camera. The family says, "Dear RMS, we used to live in Pierce County, Washington, but due to work commitments we moved to New York. Our house in Pierce had a good-sized piece of land in the back, and we used to set up trail cameras for our 3 kids to capture the wildlife and the birds that visited. One day in August of 2020, we checked the camera and stumbled upon this strange photo. It was a humanoid-shaped figure that was captured by one of our trail cams. We're not sure what to make of it, but it looks like a long-haired, hairy figure. Do you think it could be a Yeti or a Bigfoot? We thought we'd share it with you guys and see what you thought. If you find out any more information and do decide to share it online, please keep our surname private. We are not looking for any attention. But if you guys have any thoughts, please let us know. Thanks and kind regards." So the first thing that RMS does when they receive a photo or video of Bigfoot that appears to be new and unique is they create a video or article about it. And many researchers and scientists then reach out to them and tell them whether they think it's real or not. Many researchers have said that this appears to be a new and authentic photo of a Sasquatch. So is it possible that this is a real Sasquatch? Let me know in the comments down below. A man named Scott Carpenter, a systems administrator for Maryville, Tennessee, captured this very unexplainable footage on his trail camera. He has a feeding station deep in the woods. This is where researchers leave food in front of a trail camera to see what kind of wildlife would come by and eat it. Scott had always believed in Bigfoot and hoped that one day he would capture something out of the ordinary. And on this day, his wishes came true. This day, as he was leaving the station and walking back through the woods, he attached the camera to the back of himself facing backwards, so he could see if any unknown creatures snuck up behind him. He would later review the footage when he got home, and what he found was shocking. While reviewing the footage, Scott noticed a dark figure moving around in the bushes in the background, almost as if it was watching him. Upon closer inspection, he came to the conclusion that this was not a Sasquatch, but something he had never seen before. He thought that it was a dogman. Nonetheless, Bigfoot or dogman, this looks absolutely terrifying. Despite the skepticism of critics, Scott was convinced that this was a living being. He said he could see its nostrils opening and closing with each breath. The sudden realization that he was right there just feet away from this unknown creature was enough to stop him from going in the woods for a while. Even though Scott was a researcher and he loves cryptids, he was scared for his safety. He was worried that this beast had known that he had caught it on camera. It took him several weeks to recover from the shock, and while many people don't believe him, he is very adamant about what he saw. So much so that he carries a gun at all times now, and especially when he goes into the woods. This was Scott's first encounter with a cryptid, and it opened his eyes to the reality of the dangers that come with researching the unknown. So always be careful, because sometimes if you go searching, you might run into something you don't like. A 15-year-old mountain biker would have the scare of a lifetime while riding his bike on a trail in the woods. This boy loved riding his bike in the woods and rode on this particular trail frequently. The boy then rides down the hill and everything seems normal. Then he could be heard calling out to someone nervously. Suddenly, he emerged on the scene again while looking back over and over.
Hey! Hey!
Then a large black bear appears right beside his camera. It begins walking right towards him as if it were going to attack him. Luckily, the boy thinks fast and raises his bicycle up into the air to appear bigger to the black bear. And he also started yelling out as loud as he could. This was enough to scare off the black bear. The bear turns around and quickly runs away. However, he makes a stop at the boy's camera and begins sniffing it and trying to pick it up. Hey. But then he eventually runs away into the woods, never to be seen again. This is one of the many reasons why you should always be extra careful when you're in the woods, especially when you're all alone. This horrifying footage was captured by a man in Australia. He was driving late one night on an abandoned forest road when he suddenly saw something run across the road in front of his car. Australia is known for their wild animals, such as kangaroos and more. So the man just thought it was a wild animal crossing the road, so he stopped his car and began recording. But what his camera actually filmed sent chills down his spine. As you can see, a strange humanoid figure with pale skin is seen running on all fours across the road. The figure is lit up by the headlights of the man's car. It runs and then disappears into the darkness on the other side of the road. Even after posting the video to social media, nobody has been able to identify this creature. The most believed theory is that it is a skinwalker. A skinwalker is a shape-shifting demon that is able to take the form of various animals. This footage captures exactly what a skinwalker is believed to look like. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. This is some pretty creepy footage. The owner of this property has lived there for over 15 years, and he said throughout all of those years that he had never seen anything like this before. The homeowner's name is Robin Searcy. He says he only opens his gate when he needs to, closing it right back up to keep his dogs from running off. However, one morning he says an unexpected overnight visitor opened it and left it open. He woke up the next morning to see notifications on his phone that there was movement behind his house around 2 a.m. He checked his camera and this is what he caught. The photo shows a young girl in a white gown coming on his property. He had no idea how she had got there and why she was even there in the first place. He thought his eyes might be playing tricks on him, but the next morning he also checked his gate and it was wide open. He zoomed in and looked at the footage for a while, trying to see if he could recognize the girl, but he never did. He took his footage and showed his neighbors to see if maybe they could recognize the girl, but none of his neighbors recognized her at all. His neighbor that lived to the right of him also had a security camera facing the same direction. However, her camera did not catch the girl at all. Could this have been a ghost that only showed up on Robin's camera? Robin reached out to the local news station and they did a story on it. This was definitely a very strange and unexplainable encounter. A hunter on the last day of hunting in Pennsylvania came across a very strange sight. He was walking through the woods when he found a young buck who appeared to be frozen in time. The buck stood there completely still and didn't move a muscle no matter how close the hunter got. The buck stands as still as a statue. It's unknown why the deer was behaving this way. Maybe it's a defense mechanism, or maybe it's possessed. Your guess is as good as mine. The hunter even begins poking at it with one of his arrows, and it still does not even move a muscle. Eventually, the man knocks on the buck's antlers, and that is when it breaks free from the trance, and it quickly sprints away. If anyone has any theories or anyone knows why this deer was acting this way, let us know in the comments. The location of this footage is unknown. However, it takes place very deep in the woods late one night. If you look closely at the footage, you can see an absolutely massive beast emerging and walking right past the trail camera. As the beast slowly sulks by, that is when you can realize how unbelievably huge it really is. It appears to be over 10 feet tall. Many people were quick to point out that they think it's Bigfoot. Others don't really know what to make of the footage, or they simply just think it's staged. However, one thing is clear. The beast in this footage is definitely not human, because no human is even close to that tall. No one has been able to figure out what this creature is. So let me know in the comments what you think. Have you ever heard of the legend of the skunk ape? The skunk ape, also known as the swamp ape or the Florida Bigfoot, is an ape-like creature said to inhabit some forests and swamps in the southern United States, notably in Florida. This footage was captured long ago, but it has not been seen by many. The footage takes place nearly 2 decades back in the Everglades in Florida. As you can see, a giant ape-like creature is seen roaming around in an open field. This area is said to be home to many elusive and mysterious skunk apes. The supposed skunk ape in this footage was estimated at about 8 feet tall and 450 pounds. Some people nowadays still claim to see the creature late at night in the same area. Maybe it was just some sort of primate, however Florida is not home to any primates or monkeys. It is still unknown, and it looks like it will always be unknown what this creature truly was. This footage was taken in the UK. This footage is not necessarily scary, however it's more interesting than anything. One day a man looked out in his backyard and saw something very strange. Check it out. Seen is a 2-legged fox. This fox is surprisingly agile for having only 2 legs. It's actually able to move around very well. It's assumed that the fox had been missing its 2 back legs since it was born, due to how well it can move around without them. The homeowner has since installed cameras watching his backyard in hopes that the fox comes back again, and he can document more footage. If more footage of this fox is captured, I will let you all know. This trail cam photo, captured on October 14th, 2022 in Louisiana, has been going viral, and people have many questions about it. In the picture you can see what looks like a big mound of hair seemingly floating in the air. Many people think that this trail camera captured a Sasquatch running or jumping or doing some sort of strange movement. Others are completely puzzled as they cannot make out what this picture depicts. Other people have also said that they think it could be a bear, or that the photo could just simply be photoshopped. Some online viewers also had some funny things to say about this photo. One said that it could be a new species called a tumblepig. Someone else said that they're pretty sure it's their mother-in-law. So it looks like we solved the case. It was probably just that guy's mother-in-law. A man was out hunting near Gladwater, Texas in 2020 when he heard the sounds of a distressed animal somewhere nearby in the woods. As he followed the squealing sounds, he was led to an abandoned oil pit from the 1930s. Inside of it laid a deceased and badly decomposing hog, and a younger hog that was stuck but still alive. The hunter then does everything he can to try to free the pig from the oil. First, he begins trying to pull it out with a rope. The hunter even grabbed an old tire to stand on so he didn't fall into the pit himself. The pig is clearly exhausted and on the brink of death and drowning in the thick oil, so the man has to act fast. The rope technique doesn't work, so he finds a large stick and tries to lift the pig out of the oil using the stick. The hunter can be heard encouraging the hog, "Come on buddy, help me out here." 30 minutes have passed, and the man is still trying desperately to free the animal. Much more time goes by until the man pushes the hog up far enough so that he is able to grab it with his bare hands. He pretty much gets into the oil and lifts the hog up out of the oil and saves the day. The hog runs away freely. The hero hunter from Texas said, "I decided that I have harvested many a hog, and since I have the chance to save one, I should. The rescue took me 40 minutes and was considerably dangerous because I was sinking along with the hog. I eventually freed the animal to both of our reliefs. However, I will say the rescue cost me my entire hunting season because it ruined my hunting clothes and gear. And unfortunately, I don't have enough money to replace my clothes or gear. But if given the chance to do it again, I would." That's the spirit of a true outdoorsman. The footage that I'm about to show was captured by an outdoor enthusiast as they enjoyed a hike through the Appalachian Mountains. However, after what they saw during this hike might make them never want to hike again. This unsettling video shows an unidentified creature watching the hiker from behind a log. Whatever this is does definitely not want to be seen as it attempts to hide behind the fallen tree. The animal's eyes appear to be black, a characteristic that is frequently associated with cryptids and other strange beings. The animal almost looks like a seal, but obviously they do not live in forests. The person who took this video and everyone else cannot figure out what this creature is. Whatever it is, it's apparent there are some very strange things lurking in the woods of the Appalachian Mountains. Late at night in 2006, two men began to hear very strange noises coming from the woods near their house. So they ultimately decided to go explore and try to figure out what these noises were and where they were coming from. After a while of walking into the deep, dark depths of the woods, they began to come across more and more dead birds scattered across the ground. One of the men decided to get out their camera to begin filming what they were finding. Eventually, the man holding the camera hears something in the tree line near him, so he pans his camera up and zooms in, and what he catches next is absolutely horrifying.
Mira, mira, mira. Es que, tío, yo qué sé, tío, se llaman plumas, tío. Lo siento, no. Puta, tío. Va, corre, tía, va.
Now there's really no way to tell if this footage is 100% real. However, even if it is just a hoax, it is still horrifying. However, the creature in the footage could not have possibly been a human because it's a proven fact that human eyes do not reflect light. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think it's real or do you think it's fake? A man named Timothy Treadwell was born on April 29, 1957. A lover of animals since he was a child, Treadwell decided to travel to Alaska to watch bears after a close friend convinced him to do so. He wrote that after his first encounter with a wild bear, he knew that he had found his calling in life. He then became a very famous bear enthusiast, environmentalist, documentary filmmaker, and founder of the bear protection organization Grizzly People. Timothy Treadwell is better known as his nickname, the Grizzly Man. He was the man who lived among grizzly bears in Katmai National Park, Alaska for 13 summers. Treadwell was known for getting extremely close to the bears while he observed, sometimes even touching them and playing with their cubs. In his book, though, he claimed that he was always very careful with the bears and actually developed a sense of mutual trust and respect with the animals. On October 3rd, he went out to do more of his bear research at the place that he liked to call the Grizzly Sanctuary in Katmai National Park. He had also brought his wife along for the trip. He had hired an air taxi pilot named Willie Fulton to come pick him up on October 6th after he was done with his research. However, when the pilot arrived at the campsite, he found it completely abandoned, except for one huge Kodiak bear lurking around the site. It was at this moment that he decided to contact the park rangers. The park rangers came and investigated the campsite, and this is where they found Timothy Treadwell's, along with his wife's, mangled remains. A 28-year-old male Kodiak bear named the Machine was responsible for the two deaths, which was the same bear that the pilot had saw at the campsite. So the video clip that I have for you guys today is one of the last videos that the Grizzly Man would ever take. The bear shown in this video is not the same bear that ate him. And apparently the actual audio of the fatal attack is out there somewhere on the internet. However, I'm not going to show it today in this video because it is too graphic. So here are some of the final moments of the Grizzly Man before he was fatally attacked and eaten by a bear.
Hi, Cracker. The bear right next to me is Cracker. She's enjoying a fish right now. I love you, Cracker. I do love you. She's my friend. She's a good friend. It's the 112th day of the Grizzly Diary. It's almost October. And I'm really worn out. Are you worn out? Is it time to den? It's time for me to go home probably, too. I love you. That's my friend.
Alright, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, go ahead and smash the like button's mom. Let's aim for 300 likes for another one of these trail camera videos. And if you want to get to know me more or you want to see more of my spooky content, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Maxwell Fear. or you can go ahead and follow me on TikTok, Maximum Fear. Alright, I hope your fear was maximized. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.